What a game of football we had from Manchester United yesterday. I'm genuinely really happy. I know we had to leave it up until the 90th, 96th minute to win a penalty and to get the goal. But I just feel wins a win and we needed it badly. I don't know how it's not about the coach, it's not about the players, it's about the club and what it represents, and it's about that. And we need a victory for that. I don't want to get into formation, I don't want to get into chances missed, I don't want to get into we conceded two goals and we did not have any control of the game. I just think we should just look at the positives from this game. We get a international window, international break. We have 2 days to make the transfer business now. It would have been so bad going into the break of 2 weeks with all the negativity that we have. There's still doubts. There's still a lot of negativity around that we still consider two goals. But I just feel it's just different than having lost that game or dropped 2 points again against Burnley. It would have been hell lot different. Even with a win, everyone's criticizing us on the internet for conceding two goals and it was a close game. I don't think it was a close game. I don't think anyone can tell that it's a close game. We need to watch that game back, and you need to watch the whole 90 minutes to say how close that game was, because that was not a close game. We dominated the first half, right? We had chance after chance after chance, and I don't know what it is. It's a dead hyena buried under Old Trafford or some sort of black magic that's been done. But we cannot just score goals. I think we have the most XG created this season and we have the least goals scored. Right? Some stat like that. We just can't seem to score goals. We bought two of the best players in the league last season in terms of scoring goals, 20 to Mbumo, 17 to Kunya, and we still have just one goal from open play and this only two goals from United players this season in 3 games. So that just says that how difficult we are finding to score goals. Because if we overcome that, we are 3-0 up at the halftime. Easy. That's not exaggerating. That's easy, right? And then we go into the second half, having made those changes, having you know trying to control the game rather than forcing the ball quickly, because I know we can do that. It's just that we're always on 1-0 up, or we're like drawing the game so that we have to push that. Bruno has to push that pass, or the players in the midfield have to push that pass unnecessary. I just feel that's 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 an issue, becoming an issue for us. I think the first half was fantastic from United. Uh, uh, I'll not get into the negatives. I think we'll do a different video where we do clippings of players and clippings of the chances we had. But in this video, I just think it's a really good game for United. I don't want to get into the two goals that we can see. I know it's a mistake first on Dalo's end, uh, and also the ball that we lose in the midfield. But uh, I just think that this game was largely about United playing the game and dominating the ball. I think in the second half, like you would expect any team in the league, who's a goal behind, to come back with a plan again, away from home, and trying to push some balls up, right? Trying to win the second duels, and they did win the second duels again. There's a problem with the midfield, but it's it's out there for everyone to look at. That the first 45 minutes were absolute. I think we gave them one chance. That was a Hannibal chance, right? And that's pretty much it. And even that, we could manage that with a bit of tracking the runners, having a midfielder on the edge of the box, things like that. I think if you look at that clip, and we'll do those clippings of small detail, but we don't want to get into all that on this video. I just think this was a brilliant game from United, And I see a lot of negativity around, oh, it's a Burnley game. How are you celebrating like a Champions League knockout or a cup win? But I just feel with all that has gone down last week, right? And questions around Amarim and questions around the formation and the culture of the club still not being up there. I just feel this was a must win, and we put in a performance. It's not like we put a scratchy performance. No, we looked great from the start. We were brilliant with the chances that we had. Yes, of course. I'll say this one thing. We A lot of the chances against Arsenal, a lot of the chances even against Burnley are a lot, you know, transition balls, are a lot the team trying to play high up the line, and we put in the ball behind for Mbumo, we put in the ball behind for the wing back, be it Dallo or be it Dogu or for Ahmad. It's a lot that it'll be really good to see if he can play fluid football through the back line to the midfield and create chances in and around the box rather than when we get free a lot of space. I think it'll be very easy for a good team to identify that this team works on transition. This team likes to have players running in behind and have the width. Maybe that's what Amarin system is, but I think he'll be fine. It will be found out very easily by top clubs, and that's where I think my key takeaway was that from this game that a lot of our chances, right? We so think of it in like this way: if a team sits back, right, we'll not have the chance to put that ball up in behind because you don't really have the space. If a team plays in a low block, let's say Crystal Palace, will not get this much space. Say a team like Nottingham Forest, we will not be able to put those long balls in for Mbumo at the top because let's be honest, we physically will not be able to dominate the midfield dominate the midfield or their backline with the likes of Murillo, with the likes of Milinkovic. I just think games like that is where the way we are playing right now will not work. But I don't. Let's not talk about that, and we'll probably make a separate video once we in the international video. There will be a lot of time of how we play. But I just feel this was a brilliant game from start to finish. Of course, the two negatives that we do have is Mateus Cunha went off injured. I think it's a hamstring injury. I think hamstring injuries are usually 4 to 6 weeks, but the extent of it is not really known. There's no word yet from the management or the manager as yet, but I do feel it's the international break comes at a good time for us. Uh, uh, it'll be sad if he misses out for more than like 2 3 games because that would mean that United will have to start playing without Cunha in some of our important games. And the worst part for us is we've got United, we've got City, we've got Chelsea, and we've got Liverpool in our next 5 games. So if he misses more than 4 to 6 weeks, he misses out for three of our most important games this season. And that could make or break our season. We could so easily lose all three of those games. And again, there will be questions around the manager, the formation, do the players should stick around or should we have sold some players or not? So there will be a lot of questions like that. And having a player like Cunha would have been really good for us in a game like in games like this. I think he's a big match player and he could have been the difference maker in those games. So I just hope he's fit. It's not a long-term injury or uh, nothing too serious. Same with Mason Mount. I'll be honest. I think if anyone looks at that first half and has to pick the best player on the field, it has to be Mason Mount. I know Mbumo had all those chances, and the backline looked solid in the first half, but I just feel Mason Mount, and I understand why managers like him. I know there's no goal to show for it, there's no assist to show for it, but pass the the penalty shot. There was a definite penalty against Walker. He wins it out of nothing, right? The chance but if you remember that Mbumo chance that the shot, it was created by Mason Mount. It's a ball up in the air. He controls it, brilliant touch, and then picks out a pass. And there's so many of them. The press that he creates, He puts the pressure in, helps us win the ball, and we've seen this too many times in the 3 years already. I just I just think it's if he can stay fit. I know he's gone off again injured, which has been the problem for us throughout the season. If he's been fit and he's been fit through the preseason and these 3 years, I mean, we've looked how good, I've seen how good he has been for United. So I just think losing Mason Mount and losing Cunha would be a problem for Amarim because he would have needed both of them in the next 3-5 games. So I'm not really sure how long they're out. One thing that could mean is United go really big in the next 2 days for a midfielder because now they know they have lost two number 10s. So they'll probably would want to play Bruno up of the field, right? Because now they're left with who, if both of these are, who are left, who will United are left with? Uh, Mbumo, he'll probably play on the right. Then you've got uh, Bruno Fernandes that's going to play left. I don't think Xerxes will be used on the left. I think he's a good number 10, but I just feel with Oilen gone and Cesco not really starting a lot of games. I just think Amorim will keep him as a backup striker uh, and not as a number 10. He would not play both Xerxes and Cesco in a lot of games together unless we are like behind. I think this at the start of the game it will be either Cesco or Xerxes. So now that leaves us just with Bruno, Ahmad, and Mbumo to play those number 10 position. I don't think Menu will play there. I think he will want to shoehorn Menu into the midfield role. So that's a problem now. I think, uh, and now that Bruno will be pushed up in the midfield, up as a number 10. We're left with Menu, we're left with Casemiro, and we're left with Ugarte. We anyway needed a midfielder, even with Bruno in the midfield. Now with Bruno be having to push forward, we definitely need uh, a player that can play in the midfield, and United will have to go big. I think they've made money through sales of Garnacho. They got the loan money for Ireland. They're going to save wages as well. Uh, Anthony, Sancho, those deals will be done as well. I believe they will be done. Same with Malacia. I hope Anana is out as well. I think that's one of those that need to be done more than I think Hoyland needed to be done more than the likes of Garnacho needed to be done. I think performance it should always be about performance. You everyone Amarim and a lot of the people like all the fans are like, oh, we need the culture to be right. But what about performance? You will do great with your culture and but if that person puts in a 5 out of 10 performance or 6 out of like Victor Lindelof, I don't think he created any trouble about where he wants to play and about his chances and the minutes he got. But he was not a United center half. He should not have been United's for he was first choice center half for a lot of the season. He should not have been. It should always be performance. Culture is something that can be worked on, right? And the right manager, the right man manager can work on it. But I just think performance is over a lot of times, and Onana on performance should not be near Manchester United is what I feel. So yeah, that's or not. Let's not get into that. But I just think the game was brilliant for United. We had a lot of chances. Of course, in the second half, I just feel a lot of times in the midfield we lose those duels and because we're trying to play a high line as well on a high to middle line, mid line, we are one transition away, one good pass away from having to retreat. And I just don't know. Every ball that comes into United's midfield is a threat. We never look like we can defend, no matter who we have. We have had Varane, we've had Martinez, we have Maguire, we have Lindelof. Now we have Delete, we have Euro, we have Shaw. No matter who you bring to the club, we just cannot seem to deal with those balls in the box, beat by a corner, and it has not. Even with the goalkeeper, it's not the goalkeeper first. It has to be the center halves and the midfield, defensive midfielders, and the wing backs that are stopping the crosses. I just don't think we end up that. We concede more goals like that than any other kind of goals, to be very honest. Uh, it's again, I think the first that goal the cross should have been dealt with better from Dallo itself. That's on Dallo. Like look at, he's walking towards the play. There's no realization of, I should be stopping that cross. And I just feel he created the assist on the second goal. But as a defender, your first job is to stop crosses coming in as a wing back, and he does not do that. So he does good things, but then he does a lot of these small silly mistakes. He did one against the Fulham goal. So he was the problem against Fulham, the goal. He was the problem against the first goal that we that conceded against uh, Burnley as well, right? I just think these are things Amarin needs to look at when choosing players, right? And when trying to, coach the team, right? We're not good at dealing with crosses. We're not good at stopping crosses. We're not good, right? When we're stuck on transition, right? We're one pass away from a good transition from the opposition, and we get caught out. That's it. That's not good, and that's where those midfield options really are important, right? Someone like Rodri, someone like Partey, someone like Gravenberg, they know where they have to be, right? And it's not like they consider goals, it's not like they do not concede transitions, but they get back in place. And it's a lot less than how many times it happens to United in a game. So I just feel that goal. uh, it felt like it was coming at any point of time. The second goal, again, through a ball, through a set piece only, long throw. You don't deal with it. Shaw clears, right? It comes back, ricochets. Bandy does not really have strong hands, but he has considered way big errors. Onana has considered way big errors for this to be the main talking point. I think I'll not really get into how bad of a goalkeeper is based on that. I think his distribution is still good, and he's still a better option than Onana, but he cannot be the first option. He should be the third option at a club like United. And I honestly feel we need a goalkeeper. And uh, but yeah, our defense will always be a worry. We lose concentration. We always concede goals, and it's okay. A lot of teams face situations like that. So it's not like, oh, why did we even get into a situation? No, you cannot be in control of the game for 90 minutes. But I just think those two, at least the first goal should have been dealt with better, right? The second goal, of course, United are the most physical teams, right? So any ball that drops into that penalty area or the final six yard area of United will create chaos, and that is what it did. Uh, So those are the two goals we can see. I think the offside goal, we were really lucky with that because it looked really close. And I just think we need to be a bit more cautious of our performance in second half, especially. It's the same we saw against Fulham, the same we saw against Burnley now. So we need to be a bit more focused in second half. I think the substitutions need to be a bit more prompt. I just feel I think we take a long time to make those substitutions in, and some of our players are not up for it after like 60, 70 minutes, and that shows. So all in all, a really good game, right? The goal that we can score deflected on goal, but I think Casemiro does it brilliantly to get the goal in. Mount was brilliant for me. Mbumo was brilliant for me. Another one of those players that I just know will have a great season. And it was just about the first goal in the league for him. I think he could have scored two or three, to be very honest. But yeah, uh, good that he got the goal. Good that Dalo on making that assist. Uh, I think we missed the clear-cut chance that we missed by Ahmad. These are the things that the best teams do well, right? When Mbumo wins the ball, that ball should not be on the bounce to Ahmad. It's an easy pass to make, should be grounded, right? But even if it is bounced, Ahmad has to know better that, these are top professional footballers, right? And we are losing games from the last season because we do not take our chances, right? We are in this situation because we do not take our chances. We lost the Europa League final because we don't take our chances. So maybe the players need to understand that it's important to play our best game. It's important to take our chances that we have, that because we need to win games, right? Same with Xerxes. Just I think 15 seconds or a minute later, that chance should have been. I just don't fancy Xerxes as a center forward because of this. He does not have the finishing in him. He's very soft. He does not have the striker instinct. I think he's brilliant at link up play. I think he could be one of our first choices as a number 10. Right, he could play in the midfield as well, which is a very weird thing to say, but he could play in the midfield as well. But I just feel as a center forward, I just don't fancy him. I think Holland could have been a center forward because at least he's got that shot power in, and he has scored goals the season prior to last. But it's okay. Well, we have to go to work with what we have. But I think uh, lot of positives to take from this game. We do the clippings of a lot of things that were right. I think a good few things that we could work on still. I think we'll make a video on that as well. But as for now, brilliant win to go into the window. Window finishes in 48 hours, and I think the break comes at a really good time for us as well because now we get time to adjust. Now we get time with the injuries as well, right? And then we have got City and Chelsea in back-to-back games. I think we needed time to work on those games with how our season has been already. How bad has it been already? I just think it's a good time for United to look back on some of the games and the performances and make the best foot forward for the next game. So that's it for this video. I think we'll connect more on United stuff and once the window finishes and probably do a detailed video of some of the things, small clippings about this game later. Okay, that's it. Bye.